Hey all, how are you doing out there? Oh, maybe that didn't catch that. Hey all, how you doing out there? Welcome to another Drink and a Wink Scorztember Bourbonanza review. Yep, they're coming one day at a time. This is it. We're doing it. We're having a lot of fun. We are pulling a lot of bourbon off the shelf, and we are at the halfway point of this bourbon extravaganza. I told Michelle that I think, as much as I love bourbon, you all know that my first love is Scotch whiskey. I really haven't had any Scotch whiskey the whole month so far. I think when this is over, I will not only back off from doing some drinking, some videos, but I'm going to stay away from bourbon for a little while. But I am enjoying it, so I'll give you that. Today, kind of a couple of different comments from some different folk kind of made me think, oh, you know what? Maybe I should revisit this idea of talking about Evan Williams bourbon. All right, put them in my cardboard box here. I bought a little tiny bottle, so I just cracked this open of the straight bourbon, and we're going to talk about the 1783. Which would be interesting. So, if you're wondering why I'm laughing, yeah, Evan Williams, just this straight one, has never been my favorite. And again, it's an unassuming, 4-year-old bourbon, straight bourbon, that puts itself down in the class of trying to compete with all the other ones in that price range. Low Bourbon, Jim Beam, Benchmark 8 from Buffalo Trace, all that. It's in that same area. I say compete, actually, it's probably the winner. Maybe Jim Beam sells more bourbon, but in terms of Evan Williams, I mean, I think it's supposed to be the it's one of the top 3 distilled brands out there. From what I understand, the whole label of Evan Williams in their range of products, which the little black bottle, or not, it's not little, the black bottle with the gold writing, is the largest of that. They carry a 3% of the 1.4 billion whiskey category right now. So there's nothing to laugh about when it comes to Evan Williams and their popularity. I guess for me it was just always kind of like it kind of didn't really knock me out. And then I tried the bottle and bond once, and I still didn't really dig it. And then I'll give you my history of this first. And then I did get the Evan Williams. This will be the first time I'm ever drinking 1783 when I crack this open. But I got the, because it was rated well in Whiskey Advocate magazine. I'm jumping around a little bit. Evan Williams was called the Vintage Single Barrel, and that was readily available. I think I've bought 2 or 3 bottles for myself and have gone through them over the years. I think I bought one for my friend Corey, and I bought one for someone else, and I really liked that one. I really thought, to go head to head with other single barrels in the price range, this was about $30 or something like that, maybe even a little less. Sometimes it was on sale. Maybe it was a little more. It was something in that range. But, they were competing with other single barrels, and I thought they were really doing a nice job on it, Really enjoyed that one. So then the parent company, or really it's just the company, it's not the parent company, Heaven Hill Distilleries, decided to make that one just a Kentucky and the distillery only kind of product. So maybe it's available in some other stores in Kentucky, but I can't get that one over here. It was called Single Barrel Vintage. It had like a wax ring top, or a wax top, kind of like Maker's has, but like clean. Really nice stuff. So that's not around. So now that I wanted to come back, I sat down today, and Tom Lang sent me a text about Evan Williams, because there's an Evan Williams for the Packers. As you know, I have no idea what's football. Matter of fact, what's football? I have no idea what's football. I have no idea what football is. Bears game's on. I don't know. I turned it on for a second, but I'm not watching it. It's not my thing. Well, I guess there's an Evan Williams, and he did good with ball today. So we were joking around about that. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do Evan Williams. So despite the fact that we had an apparent presidential assassination attempt, got the Bears game, we got the Emmys, Scorztember Bourbonanza, I will not back down. I will not fight, will not quit. We're going to do it every day All right, not a video every day. I'm going to talk about a bourbon every day. All right, let's get into this now. So Evan Williams, I'm not going to give you a long, long history. We've already gone 5 minutes, and it was just the introduction. Evan Williams as a brand, you can see the 1783, and on this bottle, you know, there's a lot of stuff about being the first distiller. So apparently, this gentleman, Evan Williams, was purported to be the first distiller distilling in Kentucky in around 1783. Great, that's wonderful. There's some kind of speculation to how true that was because of the passing around the name. Now, what is not to be confused is they have not been distilling under that name since 1783. Long fall off, and then I think it was 1957. It was purchased and kind of rebranded by the Heaven Hill Company. The Heaven Hill Company was like 1937. They were that's a family run. The Shapiro family ran that in 1973. That was kind of a Jewish family-owned company, and they continue to be family-owned. There are still Shapiro's high up in that organization in the Heaven Hill. And Heaven Hill has become one of the biggest kind of brand name producers around. I just made a very short list here. In case you didn't know it, Heaven Hill, which is in Louisville, Kentucky, they put out all the Heaven Hill products. Obviously, they put out Henry McKenna. They put out Bernheim. They put out Rittenhouse and Pikesville ryes. Okay, Rittenhouse and Pikesville are like the same family rye. Rittenhouse is the cheaper one, a little less aged, a little bit less proof, and then Pikesville is the related one. Larceny is theirs, and Larceny, yeah, my it's more like highway robbery. Anyway, it's the other one I always bag on. I had 3 targets: Evan Williams, which I think we might change today, Basil Hayden, and Larceny. But they're all good. Elijah Craig, which is a big one because Elijah Craig really is kind of put right next to this Evan Williams a lot of times. And then finally, but not last, there are others, but the final one I was going to mention is Mellow Corn, which I don't think I brought with me. I think I downed the Mellow Corn bottle, which is a corn whiskey produced the way that corn whiskey has to be produced, a little different from bourbon. And Heaven Hill owns that too. So that's that. Now let's talk about this Evan Williams, the actual bottling. So as I said, the start of this one, okay, the straight one, is supposedly this one is aged 4 years. Okay, the mash bill on this is really peculiar to me. It is 72% rye, 12% malted barley. No, I'm sorry, 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. So actually, there's more malted Riley. Charles Nelson Riley. There's more Charles Nelson rye in this than no. There's more barley than rye. I'll get out of my own joke, which I couldn't even get. Right, Charles Nelson Riley. All right, here you go. I'm only 53, folks. I remember him when I was a little kid on TV. My dad would watch whatever show he was on. So now we're going to talk about just Evan Williams. I've had this a number of times, never really gone nuts about it. 4 years. Cola. Lots of cola taste. Get a little bit of the oak blast on the end. Yeah, it's pleasant enough. You know what? I think I'm liking this a little better than I have in the past. The finish is very one note. That's was something I'm hoping the 1783 will change a little bit. Flat, and it has this very, yeah, I have to say again, cola flavor, like this, like little bite that yeah, it's okay. Just for fun, because I was talking about it when I drank Benchmark 8 a little while back. I said, you know what? I suddenly like Evan Williams Straight a little better. So, because I have no idea, I hated this so much that I'm still going to try to get rid of this handle, this humongous handle of Benchmark, which I bought on sale a while back. But I'm going to taste it just to see what we think against Evan Williams Straight. We don't need that to be around anymore. Seriously, I live in the Albany and Lawrence area. If you want this from me, come over and take it. We'll drink some good stuff too. But if you want this almost full handle of Benchmark, it's yours for the taking, because I do not like it. All right, back to Evan Williams. Yeah, I like this a whole lot better, just a straight one. What does it have going for it? I've said I didn't give it a super high review. Here's one thing. This is one of the few kind of bottom of the range products that you're going to find, sub $20 that's bottled at 43%, not 40. That's helping us a whole lot. All right. So I'll keep this little bottle around. Leave it if I'm going somewhere and I want to throw it. Go on the road and maybe want to take just a little something for a hotel room if you're not going to get out, something like that. It's good. I like it. I like it better than I thought. Okay, I like it better when I used to make fun of Corey Biggerstaff for drinking it. Yeah. All right, now we'll talk about 1783. So what is the difference? As I had said, there was this nice single barrel vintage that I like I said, I really enjoyed that. I really wish I could easily get a hold of that, because that was a good value. And maybe it was that they had priced it and they realized what they had, and maybe they had to jack the price up, and then they realized now it's not serving our purpose. So they put a little bit more effort into this one, the 1783. 1783 normally does not have this fancy of a bottle and a label, but what I did notice is they did a couple of different things here. When they reintroduced this, they changed the bottle packaging and design a little bit. And secondly, they upped the proof to 90. What's also interesting is on this one, okay, which is a special American Heroes edition, okay, which I just bought today for $18. That was a pretty good price. Noticing that, again, their sister brand, or brother brand, whatever you want to call it, Elijah Craig, those bottom labels that have some information look very, very similar. So, I mean, if they're the same distillery, these are just different brands, that makes sense. But I just noticed that the Evan Williams, and you should know that. You might think they'd be battling it out, like decisions. Decisions. Was that the commercial for Life, the game of Life? I can't remember. Anyway, boy, references are old. I keep on saying I'm only turning 53. Some of my stuff is just ancient. All right, so as you can see here, I'm going to open this up. What do we have? The difference here, got some flags, got the flag, got some stars, American Hero Edition. We can go on the back, and I got my contacts in. As you can see, I don't have my glasses, and I can't read this for the life of me. Then there's this tag on here, American Made, Small Batch, Veteran, Selected. Release 2024, Rick House Sites Warehouse, Cozy Creeks 3 Warehouses. So, and Heaven Hill. So what's telling me is Rick House Sites Warehouses. Again, this is not a single barrel, it's just a small batch. So if it was a single barrel, it would only be saying one warehouse, right? Because you can't store a barrel in two different warehouses at the same time. So that's what it's telling me. And then inside, it's telling us a little bit about this project where we have veterans selecting these barrels. Cool, like it. All right, it's beautiful. As I said, I'm opening this one up right now. Nice set, unlike the Evan Williams, which has just a screw top. I don't know, maybe the full bottle does have a cork, but let's see what we got here. What do we got here? Screw top. It's all right, but I like that kind of the way that was sealed up a little bit more, like it was going to give me a little more. That's cool. I don't pay $20 for something. It's not going to have a cork. Maybe even 25. I don't have my knife and I can't see that, but that's okay. This is one of these things that I get a little picky about. I don't like having that stuff around, so I'm going to cut that off. So this will be a a neck pour on this. Do that safely, Scorza. What are you doing? There you go. Boy, that the glue for that label really came back for seconds. So, American Heroes, Adhesive Heroes. Wow. All right. I almost pulled a muscle getting that thing off. All right, let's pour it and see what we got here. Right away, the color in the bottle looks nice. The story on this is, again, up with the up in proof. We are going up to 6 to 8 years in age, and they might be doing something a little different with a different, different kind of barrel, something like that. Don't know. Is that going to be enough? Yeah, it's perfect. Let me drink a little water, get that done. I don't know if there was anything else I wanted to tell you about this. Yeah. So again, like I said, that this is supposed to be Evan Williams has to be the first distiller in Kentucky. It's being challenged all the time. But, I don't really knock these bourbon companies for coming up with this lore, different things. One's going to be like, I can't even remember which brand it is because it all kind of runs together. But like the continuous distiller since whenever, and this and that. That's usually ones that made it through Prohibition. Who was that? Was that? I just had it a couple days ago. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the brand stayed because they were billed as medicinal whiskey or something like that. Others are going to tell you about some kind of crazy lore. When it comes to something as big as these multi-brand, even though this is family owned, I don't know that any of that you're going to buy into that too much. The only place you can really do it, if you find a craft distiller that is actually distilling on their own and not sourcing their whiskey. And then you can start believing their lore. And what's funny is the only ones that come to mind right now, I'm sure there are many in Kentucky. The only ones that come to mind are not Kentucky distilleries. I'm going to say Journeyman Distillery in Michigan and Whiskey Acres in DeKalb. I know their story. They're not sourcing their whiskey, blah, blah, blah. Really good. These bigger companies, you have to kind of, take all their little lore and their little stylings with a little bit of a grain of salt. Nose on this is already much better. Not much. Still got the cola scent, but there's a little bit heavier caramel and brown sugar, but not overly sweet kind of stuff. Almost like the cocoa powder. A little bit of that. And again, none of that is sweet. It just has that cocoa without being sugary. That's really a nice nose for that. On the big nose, a little bit more oak, a little bit of evergreen. Not mint, definitely evergreen and pine, just a little bit. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's smooth. It's created for you. If you like a smooth whiskey, there's a little bit of complexity in that. Let me take another taste. Forget about AI. I know the technology is out there, but I run Drink and Wing for free, and occasionally I get a little help to buy a bottle, but that's over with. The people that used to do that aren't in the business anymore. So I really couldn't put the money into it. But what we really need, forget AI. What we need is I need to be able to take a drink and then process my thoughts to a Scorztember speaker so that I could kind of say it like that. I could do it. I could pre-record these and do it, which would be weird. Why would I do that? I would just record it and then fast forward and tell you. But in the live in the moment, I need Score's brain on camera. Or closed captioning. Closed cerebral cortex captioning. On the front, nice clove and nutmeg, and isn't overly sweet on the front. It's never really overly sweet, which is great. I was kind of surprised with that, with just that low rye content. I can tell that there's not. Let me put it that way. There's surprisingly amount of clove and nutmeg flavors in this that would make me think that there was a little higher rye content. I can definitely tell that the malted barley is a little higher than most, just because it has that barley sugar, which does not taste like sweetness, but like how oatmeal can taste kind of like creamy, even when it's not flavored, that kind of thing. That's what I get out of barley sugar. Yeah. Little thin. The best part of the taste is on the end of the taste after you've had it on your tongue a while, and you get a little bit of the char, a little bit of the oak, a little bit of like charred barbecue barbecued fruits, just a hint, like, or a peel of a fruit like that. That's the best part of the taste, and then the worst part of the taste is the end of the finish. The finish at the end of the finish. That was over my mouth a little bit, but there's a little hint of there's a little hint of butter. Just kind of tastes like I just had some sunflower seeds or something like that aftertaste of sunflower seeds. That's the most disappointing, is the end. So, and it's kind of surprising to me that's that. It's at 90 proof. Now, I also have been drinking alcohol. I've had, a little bit of whiskey every 2 days on, one off. So this might be, I might be building up a little bit of a tolerance to it. But I don't get any. But that's usually not in the taste. It just means that I'm not affected by it. This berries its 90 proof pretty well, meaning I'm not shaking my head. I'm going to say that I'm pleasantly surprised by how it's not great. Okay, it's good. It's good bourbon. At the regular price of $24.99, that's at least what it was at Binny's, or maybe something. Yeah, I think it was $24.99. I would probably make some other choices. If Buffalo Trace just regular was on the shelf, definitely buy that. But it's lower priced still than than this, or some of the other small batches that you might find. So I'm going to say the 17. I won't buy the Evan Williams straight again. I'll never buy a full bottle of that. I just buy it for tastings every once in a while, and that's fine. If somebody gives it to me, that's great. I'll take it. It's nice little. I would say I'm not going to buy that one again. I don't know that I would buy this again at regular price, but if I see it on sale again, it's a nice, decent whiskey. Like I said, I'm sipping it neat. I don't, if you like it in a cube, I guess that would be cool. I think it's already pretty, it's not, I'm going to say weak. It's a little bit mellow. A cube would seem to water it down quite a bit. I don't know. But I had a 20 in my pocket, and I bought that and this, and I didn't have to add any extra today. No, that's not true. If I didn't buy this, I would have been all right. Well, let's say I had 20 in my pocket. I didn't have to go over 20 to buy this. This is meeting all the expectations of that kind of price tag. All right, Evan Williams 1783. I'm going to give that a. Let me have one more sip. I'm going to give it a 7. Wait. I'm going to give it a 7.6. That sounds a little low. But when I think of my old scale, wait, did I say 7.6? I'm going to give it a 7.5. All right, 7.5. Like I said, that might be a little lower than 7.6. Doesn't matter. What's the point? 8 is where I'm saying you should go buy it. I think you should buy it. 7.8 this is a really nice whiskey that I'm kind of, and this is just under that. So there you go. Evan Williams 783. All in all, I know I didn't sound like I can get nuts about it, but like I said, I didn't spend, because it's when I was sale, I didn't spend my $20 any more than my $20 bill. And I'm happy I had it. This won't last real long. I might turn on the news and then watch the Bears game, watch the Emmys, and who knows? It's a fun little time. Don't know that would be great. A really solid mixer. But again, at 90, the one thing about using bottles that you don't like this one, okay, and the offer still stands. If you want to take this off my hands, you can have it. Is that if you're going to then say, well, you know what, I can use that the one I don't like for cocktails. Well, that's cool, but if it's at 40%, now you're watering down 40% whiskey that you don't like. I don't want to drink your cocktail. Maybe this would be a good choice for that, since it's at 90 proof, 45 ABV. That might be a nice little blend for a cocktail. I personally don't think it has enough spice to do that, but you might. So there you go. Evan Williams, 1783. Nice work. All right. Good, solid B minus. All right. Which I think is great for the price. Evan Williams straight. I'll go 3.5 was my guideline on the fence. So I'm going to say 3.4. What was that? 6.8 on. No. I'll just give it an average 7. Okay. Yeah. Benchmark score goes down every time I drink it next to something else. All right, folks. Tomorrow, I'll probably be kind of busy tomorrow. I don't think I'll do a video tomorrow. Because I think the rest of the week I'll have more nights to do some videos. So yeah, maybe I'll take a break from doing video tomorrow. You're probably sick of seeing my face. Anyway, and I'll pick something else for the 16th. Unless something comes to mind, I'll just do a little text post. All right, folks. This was fun hanging out with me. You got a lot of other things you could be watching right now, and maybe you're watching it later. I like that too. All right, we'll see you. Scorztember Bourbonanza. The halfway point. 50%. We're half.